Hello, my name is Aidan Hammill, and I chose to do this final project for consumer behavior on a muskie bait and guide service. The type of business would be a custom muskie bait and guided muskie fishing service. Northern Minnesota is known for its muskie above all the other fish species, with big lakes like Leech, Cass, Winnie, Bemidji, and Plantagenet, while also having smaller muskie lakes. Northern Minnesota is the place to be for muskies. An ideal specific location would be Bemidji, Walker, Grand Rapids, one of the bigger cities around all these lakes in northern Minnesota. Cass Lake would also be an option as it is right in between kind of all three of those places. Muskie baits are like any other fishing bait, just much bigger. I will have a large variety of types, colors, and sized custom baits. These baits are really tough to aim at a specific group. A few smaller baits may have colors targeting kids or women. As for guided fishing trips, there will be a couple different options. The first option is a live bait or trolling trip. This trip is more relaxing, letting the boat do the work. It's geared more towards families, kids, women, and elderly. The second option would be a casting trip. This takes much more work compared to trolling, as you're standing up casting large baits for hours at a time. This is geared more towards experienced fishermen, men, and teens. The marketing plan is tough for baits. There really isn't a specific plan for the baits. The baits are the baits. For the trolling and live bait trips, I would focus much less on the effort that catching a muskie can take. I would focus more on the ability to relax on the water all day while having a chance at a giant fish. I would be sure to mention the weather, sunrises, sunsets, wildlife, and other sights to be seen. For casting trips, the focus would be on the effort that it takes to catch one of these fish. They're the fish of 10,000 casts. It isn't easy to catch one, but the rewarding feeling when one is caught is really unbeatable. Muskie trips are pretty well aimed at a specific group, that being fishermen. However, in an instance when someone looking for a trip isn't an experienced fisherman, it's important to understand the different groups. Elderly people may not be able to stand and cast for hours at a time, pointing them in the direction of the trolling trip. Women may not have the desire to stand and cast for hours at a time just for one fish, gearing them towards the trolling trip, although there are plenty of women out there who musky fish just as well as anyone else, and they really enjoy it. So for them, it would really come down to their choice. Kids under the age of 10 would inevitably have to troll, since they're most likely not strong enough to hold, cast, and even sometimes reel a musky fishing combo. Teens and young adults often have a lot of energy and would much rather be doing something the whole time to keep them focused, as opposed to just laying back and relaxing all day. It would likely be a casting trip for any young adults and teenagers wanting to come. Inexperienced fishermen may not know anything about fishing at all. I would give the customer the choice of what they want to do in this situation between trolling and casting. It would more than likely be a teaching day for me, just simply teaching the customer all the ropes to fishing, why and how to fish, and everything there. Experienced fishermen they're going to be looking to catch fish. That's the reason that they would be coming with me, is to catch a fish. They may be having trouble catching a muskie. They may just be in a slump and feel like they need to catch one. And these would probably be my favorite trips to guide on, because with prior experience, it gives me much more freedom on where and how we're going to fish and attempt to catch one of these big guys. For my grand opening, I would have planned to have a small shop or store to meet with my customers before trips. This could be a little building on the property where I live, or it could be a small store. I would plan to sell my baits and make my baits here while also meeting with customers before trips. About a month before the grand opening, I would plan to do a soft launch just to get my baits in people's hands, get them on the water, build a relationship, and also gain some experience. The grand opening about a month later, I would have my guide boat right in front of the store for everyone to come take a look at, see what they like, try to picture themselves in it, see the amenities that are offered. I would have raffles for both baits and guided trips for people who don't necessarily want to sign up for a trip and spend all that money, but they want the chance. This would be perfect. You don't have to spend all that money and you still get the chance to do it. I would have a TV in the store or shop playing videos of me muskie fishing that I have, while also possibly having some of previous guided trip customers catching fish and fishing, releasing fish. I would give away a few baits and one full day guided trip. That would be the main draw, is you show up and you get a chance at a free trip. And they aren't cheap, so for a lot of people it would be worth it just for that. Personally, I know a few guides in Minnesota that wouldn't be competition for me because they don't guide in this area. It would be nice to have one or two of them come up for the grand opening and talk about me, if they know me well enough, and fishing in general. Food and drinks would be provided at the grand opening. I would possibly have a local food truck catering the event just to keep all the customers happy. And then finally, I would have opening day discounts on different baits and trips. I would exclude prices and open viewing from the grand opening, as people may just look quickly at the prices and make an assumption without understanding what the full price includes. Fishing charter prices can be difficult to understand with half days and full days, peak season pricing, and other strategies. I would also not include bait prototypes and future ideas and endeavors I plan on doing. And this is just because I don't want someone stealing these ideas from me or doing them faster than I can. The event would be largely promoted through social media. Facebook would play a huge part in this business. I would mostly target specific groups on Facebook. I know of a few that I am a member of, like Fishing Minnesota and Muskie Fishing Minnesota. I would post in there a lot about this event just because I know that everyone in those groups is going to be interested. I would try to collaborate with some nearby businesses to spread the information of the grand opening in exchange for some advertising at the event, whether that's signage or part of the giveaways or raffles, something like that. Prior to the event, like I said, I would do the soft launch, and by doing the soft launch, it would help me gain reviews and also a following of support prior to the grand opening with the soft launch technique. I would plan to advertise my business on different northern Minnesota radio stations. I know that could be huge because it's got a large population of people that is listening to that all throughout northern Minnesota, not even in this specific area. Social media would be the most important type of communication. Like I said previously, Facebook would be used most, with Instagram being secondary. Down the road, I would plan to use YouTube after filming enough videos with clients. I would use the YouTube so future customers could see the experience that they could possibly be signing up for, see the joy in other people's eyes, because there's really nothing like the look on someone's face when they catch their first muskie. There are northern Minnesota travel guide pamphlets at most gas stations up here in northern Minnesota. It would be beneficial to get a happy customer with a big fish as an advertisement in these, so travelers and tourists not from the area could see the opportunity to catch one of these fish. Eventually, I would like to be featured at least once on an outdoors television show so that potential customers can once again see the opportunity on TV. A lot of people like myself, fishermen, find ourselves just watching anything having to do with fishing and outdoors on TV. The advertising message for trolling would focus on the relaxation and little effort that it takes, while also stating the chance at a giant fish. Let the boat do the work as you relax on the water all day waiting for a monster to bite. The advertising message for casting is a little bit different, focusing on the effort that it takes and also the rewarding feeling when you do catch that fish. It may take one, it may take 10,000, but the fish of your dreams is out there ready to be caught. I plan to use a few different distribution strategies for this business. Direct distribution will be used for online bait sales. Exclusive distribution will be used for the guided trips and limited edition baits that are only available through me or my store. And then indirect distribution will be used as I would plan to have my baits in other small bait shops around the upper Midwest where muskie fishing is near and dear to the heart. My main sales strategy would be to have a ton of marketing aimed at the specific group of fishermen or muskie fishermen. I would also offer easy contact so that potential customers can get in contact with me quick and easy to answer their questions and build relationships. A lot of times, if a potential customer has a question for a guide and they are late to respond, that customer has already found another guide. So if I'm on top of that, able to get back quick, I can retain a lot of those customers. Promotions would be important to the business, especially in the beginning. The first promotion I would offer would be a 20% off discount in-store or online after leaving a positive review on either Google reviews or Facebook reviews. I would plan to have a referral program since fishermen are usually close with other fishermen. This program would be for anyone who comes on a guided trip with me. If they refer another person who then goes on a guided trip with me, then the original customer who made the referral will get a $50 credit towards baits or another trip. Finally, my favorite promotion is a replica mount paid for by me for the customer that catches the biggest muskie each year. This is something that I have never heard of and can differentiate me from the competitors while also drawing in customers for the opportunity at a free replica muskie mount.